candidate that's come along in this country ever. To introduce our next president, Reverend Cameron Alexander, the pastor of the Antioch Baptist Church, Atlanta, Georgia. Reverend Alexander.
Mr. Chairman, we know something about being snubbed and passed over, for we are passed over at the workplace, we are snubbed in the schoolhouse, we are snubbed in the Senate, we are snubbed in the Congress, and we're here today to say we know how to be snubbed, but after a while, butter does come to the top. Secondly, we're here to serve notice that it may be time to change the name of the great house in Washington from the White House to our house. That's white, black, brown, yellow. To introduce and present our hero, our leader, our warrior, our fearless fighter, a man who stands tall and clean, a husband, a father, a qualified man to occupy a qualified position in a qualified house, in a qualified city for a qualified people. The very next president of these United States, Reverend Jesse Jackson. We're grateful to God for being good enough to allow us to gather together again today. Let me express my profound thanks to Reverend Cameron Alexander.
There. Give me a strip it. Let's go.
Such a kind
stay here. I'll
and
take it
generous
back.
introduction.
Strip it. Strip it.
So much support and friendship shown across the years.
Start shooting. Start shooting.
Let me express my thanks to all
16.
the ministers of the gospel
All right. I gotta move, guys. Excuse me.
who are present today,
Give me the phone.
physically and
Stay there. Give me the phone.
with your prayers.
Yeah, hang on.
Let me express my thanks to distinguished mayor of this city, the hospitality shown to our organization, Mayor Andrew Young.
Yeah! Yeah! What are you looking for? What are you looking for?
thanks to our very able state chairman who guided us to victory in Georgia. Senator Walker. I want to express how grateful all of us are to Sister Shirley Chisholm, consistent work across the years. I want to introduce the Jackson children on this occasion. We've been blessed to have a family that's worked so diligently and effectively during this campaign year. Our eldest daughter, Santina Jackson.
Throw it.
Our eldest son,
Damn, Lord, I need a
Jesse
tripod.
Jackson Jr.
Shit. Yeah, something. Yeah, I just can't keep it steady. I don't know if you're going to be able to use this shit.
Jonathan Luther Jackson. Areas and make the dream real for everybody. Not too long ago, the only participant in the Democratic Convention, just 40 years ago, Reverend Bill Gray's father, Congressman Gray's father, gave the prayer, Democratic Convention in 1948. And now 40 years later, his son, Reverend Congressman Bill Gray, is chairman of the Budget Committee. Not too long ago, 1964, Fannie Lou Hamer stood outside on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey, trying to get a seat in the Mississippi delegation. 1988, the chairman of that delegation from Mississippi is a black person. 1964, we did not even have the right to vote. There's a sense of history about our gathering here today. In those next few months, we saw the ominous threat of those who were pushing hysteria as they push the panic button, begin to kill, maim, and destroy good people. Brother Louisa, a white mother from Detroit, brains were blown out at point-blank range. She served to make America better. Jimmy Lee Jackson, 15-year-old black student from Alabama, shot and killed in cold blood. He served to make America better. Reverend James Reed, a white Unitarian minister from Boston, dragged from a Selma, Alabama cafe and beaten to death. He served to make America better. Mick Evers, killed, shot in cold blood on his back door steps. He died to make America better.
All right, Jesse.
4 little girls blown up in a church in Birmingham, Alabama, early one Sunday morning. They died to make America better. Our way has been a way where blood has fertilized the soil. This year, 25 years ago, Swirly Goodman and chained 2 Jews and a black, but found bodies with bullets in Philadelphia, Mississippi. We come here today rooted in history. Not too far from where the man who
inspired us to higher heights. The man who transformed our sense of self-respect, turned our fears into energy for courage, who stood with Fannie Lou Hamer on that boardwalk, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Here we stand today, somewhere between Fannie Lou Hamer, who said, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I will not surrender." And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who shared his dream. Here we gather today, making history and not hysteria. Here we gather today and create attention, but unto life, not unto death. Whenever there is new life, whenever there is growth, whenever there is change, there's always the pain of new life. Suffering breeds character. Character breeds faith. In the end, faith will not disappoint. We come today rooted in history. Our struggle began before our hour. It will last beyond Atlanta. It's ancient in its origin, endless in its destination. We the people must keep hope alive. Today we gather in the New South. The first convention held in the South in this century. We gather in the New South, but we see an aspect of Dr. King's dream unfolding before our eyes. He said one day, his sons and daughters, little Marty sits here today, will live in a world where they will be judged more and more by the content of their minds and character, and not by the color of their skins. He said one day, right here in Georgia, black and white, sons and daughters of former slaves and slave masters will sit around a common table and build a new coalition. I remember so well, on July 4th, my wife and I sat with the Caucus family in Boston while some focused on the concert, and it was beautiful music by John Williams, of bombs bursting in air. My mind went to Crispus Attucks, whose death in Boston is the foundation upon which music was played and bombs were bursting in air. And so from Boston and Crispus Attucks on down the coast, Fannie Lou Hamer in Atlantic City, New Jersey, on down the Shirley Chisholm in 1972, on down to Atlanta, Georgia in 1988, is an ancient journey. And in this journey, to keep America strong and make America better, we've come down the highway coming home to Atlanta Atlanta today, someone asked why come south by bus.
Right.
We went north by bus. We just came back down the other side of the highway. I went up that same highway going to Chicago. I came back down that same highway. Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Georgia. We registered voters at every stop. Just we were through here today, picking up passengers, empowering the people. I shall appeal to our delegates, our state legislators, to go before every state legislature, put in a bill for same-day, on-site voter registration. Little round, I would ask that you go to the State House, make history, and not hysteria. We should take the politics out of voter registration. That should be painless and cost-free. When our last child, little Jackie, was born, Jackie and I had convinced ourselves it was going to be a boy. It was a girl. We had born names and blue clothes. So when the baby was born and it was a girl, we had no name. First day, the doctor said, "What will you name your baby?" We said, "We'll get back to you tomorrow." The next day, the doctor said, "What about the name?" We said, "We'll get back to you on tomorrow." The third day, we had a name. The doctor said, "You must go downtown and put beside your baby's number, your baby's birth certificate number, a name. We're registered at birth automatically." A few years ago, my father died. While we were in trauma and shock because he died so suddenly, choosing a casket, getting out a suit of clothes, finding insurance papers. The funeral director reminded us that we must get a death certificate. Register our daddy for burial. From womb to tomb, from birth to death, voter registration is automatic. If it applies at birth, if it applies at death, it should apply at age 18. We should have automatic, on-site, same-day registration. The New South, 25 years ago, the focus of the South was racial violence. Freedom riders on one side of the highway, night riders on the other. In Memphis, a few years later, the focus was economic violence. What's the theme of the New South? Common ground. What must leadership do? Take us from racial battleground, a fruitless, unproductive struggle, to economic common ground, and on the moral higher ground. Those family farmers who only want fair prices and return of their land. Those workers who want fair wages and return of their jobs. inside out is the same color. Colored pain, colored hurt, colored longing. Most poor people are not black or brown. They're white, female, and young. Whether white, black, or brown, hunger hurts. In this country, we must wipe out malnutrition and not wipe out the malnourished.
Next applause. Okay, change it. Go on, change it. Okay, that's it.
Most poor people are not on welfare. They work every day. They're not lazy. It's not a matter of reading their own ads. And they need someone in high places who's neither hungry nor afraid to argue their case. If the hungry need somebody, if the homeless need somebody, if the children need somebody,
All right, Jesse.
those